Have one of these days where you look at all your wigs and you can't decide which one to wear. I'm having one of them moments right now. It's like, it's not like as if I haven't got any to wear. I've got wigs coming out of my ears. And it's like, do I go blonde? Do I go brown? Do I choose a colour? It's a bit cooler today, so it's a bit more easy wearing. Can't decide. Anyway, last Thursday I went for an appointment at the wheelchair services. I'd already been told I'd been approved for a new chair. Anyway, I got picked up. This was before the appointment. I got told by whoever I spoke to, we've received your GP's referral. You've been approved for a new chair. I was like, brilliant. Appointment was made for me to go. Patient transport booked for me to go with them to get there. Anyway, patient transport, I'd rang from 10 o'clock. They were like, yeah, they're on the way to you. 11 o'clock, my appointment was at 11:30. 11 o'clock, near enough 11 o'clock, I rang again and I was like, are they on the way? Because I'm just thinking of time. And they're like, oh, don't worry, yeah, they're on the way to you. They should be with you any second now. So I was waiting and nothing. 11:15 came and went, 20 past. And I phoned them up again. I said, where are they? Concerned about my appointments. They'll be with you. Yeah, they've been running a bit late. Anyway, 11:25, they turned up. By the time they've loaded me onto the ambulance, strapped my chair down, secured me, put everything ready, 11:30. We got there at 12:05. The guy that I was seeing answered the door. He was like, what time is your appointment? And I was like, 11:30. Well, usually patient transport, if they're running late, they usually phone ahead to the place and see whether they can move the appointment back. And this time, no question, nobody told me that anything was any different, any problem. So anyway, muggins here, I thought, right, I'll be all right. He had a go at the patient transport guy. He was like, we're just merely dropping off, and off they went. And the guy was like, he had a go at me, and I was like, look, I've been ready since 10 o'clock. It's not my fault. I'm waiting on the transport to bring me. Not my doing. And he was like, I've got to go without a break. Patient transport were like, see ya. And off they went. Anyway, he was like, I'll see you, but I've got to go without a break now. And of course, he refused to give me a new chair. He was like, there's nothing wrong with this one. And I thought, well, hang on a minute, you've got your legs, you can have a room full of people all for the same chair, and you'll have a handful of people that have a different need for that chair, and it's not suitable for what they want it for. And I got told, I said to him, I was told I was approved for a new chair. And he was like, no. He asked me what health conditions I had, and I've got a lot going on. And he told me I could tell him one thing. His attitude was disgusting. He was trying to basically get me done as fast as possible. Could see it. He was adjusting my chair here, there and everywhere. His attitude, his manner was really, really poor. And I got the feeling he was trying to get me pushed through really, really quickly, tick me off, and then get back to his break before the next person turned up. And I buzzed him because he literally just left me in this foyer. The rooms were taken, can we do it here kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, it's private enough, no problem. But yeah, he adjusted my chair really quickly. Made some adjustments, and it was, okay, it was more comfortable for me on my back and where my hips were and stuff. But I says, oh, that was it, the footrests were adjusted to how my feet like them for my feet, with my ankles and all my issues around my feet, ankles areas. And he was like, you're getting hip pain because of your leg rests being, they need to be longer. And after a bit of umming and ahhing, and patient transport were on the way to collect me, I asked him when he was in the process of the next lady seeing her, he was all smiles and jokes and let her in, and then he was making comments about me and my being late, and all this stuff. He then took her and her new chair out to the van that she was in, and I said, look, patient transport are on the way, they've already messaged. Any chance you can just make one adjustment to the chair then to see if it will help my hip pain? And there was then another guy waiting to be seen, and he says, she's already been late, and then she wants 5 minutes now of your time. Can she have 5 minutes of your time? So, and they were like, yeah, it's fine. And of course, he was making all sorts of jokes and that, all at my expense. And it was awful. He adjusted the chair. Patient transport came to pick me up. He never said anything, no bye, no thank you, or anything, see you again, or, that was it. He just literally shut the door with the new person going out the back. And that was that. And I was like, charming. And even patient transport were like, is he finished with you? And I was like, I don't know. I said, this is what he was like for my appointment. Very rude. And she was like, it's disgusting. So anyway, I wasn't happy with it. I did send an email of official complaint over this. And then yesterday I phoned up the wheelchair services, and I thought, well, emails have a habit of getting lost and whatnot. So anyway, I phoned up and I explained what happened, and I wasn't happy. And anyway, they were like, I'm going to sort all this out, pass it over to our manager, and she can look into it for you. And I, after that, heard nothing. And I did think, I know that they're busy, but I'm going to ask. And nothing. I checked my emails, nothing. And then today being Tuesday, I thought, do I phone again or not? And I phoned, and I said, I phoned yesterday, I've made an official complaint. I've sent an email of official complaint. I just want to speak to somebody about this because I feel like he's basically, ended my opportunity to have a new chair. And my chair that I've got issues with, and other people have said that they would sort me out with a new chair. I've been approved for a new chair, but he's like, no, you can carry on with this one. Anyway, she says, that some manager called Laura is looking into it for you, after asking me for my name and details. And she says, I have forwarded it on, and she is looking into it. And she says, I tell you what, we'll book you back in to see somebody else. And there's a chap that I've seen, previous appointment to this awful guy, and he was more than happy to sort me out with a new chair, but I had to go through the process of re-referral through the doctor. So anyway, I'm booked in with this guy. So hopefully I will get sorted out. But at the moment, it's like I'm also waiting on a Motability car, and a lot rests on basically how the measurements, the diameters, all that to do with the chair, as to what kind of vehicle I can have. And I want something that's going to be suitable for me out and about on the footpaths. So even if it's too tall for me to use in the car, for example, and I can use my one that I use for in the flat for in the car, I'm more than happy to do that. I just want something that's better, because on the footpaths, this particular chair that I've got is absolutely awful when it comes to the footpaths and when it's been raining and it just slips and slides around. There's not much grip, and it's just one I'm not happy with and would love something more with more substance to it. And I was given a chance to have that change, and this guy that I saw last took it away. So my thinking is, my whole point of this with the video is, you know, if you're having a problem with somebody, whether it's a medical profession person, a doctor, or a person that you're seeing at the wheelchair services or whatever, if you're not happy with them, phone again to see somebody else, to have a second opinion, because that's what I'm doing now for this one. Don't feel like you're being a pain, like you're being a nuisance. Stand up for yourself, allow them to see you and to make another decision through a fresh pair of eyes, because it can make all the difference. And yeah, so there we go.